Tarot and yoga and astrology are all incredible tools that you can use to connect and heal your relationship with your body. I co-created this tarot deck called Be With Your Body Tarot, and I incorporated all of these elements into this deck. So a traditional tarot deck, which this is based off of the traditional Rider Waite Smith deck, there are 4 suits and there are 22 major arcana cards. Now, each of the major arcana cards connects to a different astrological sign or planet, and each sign is connected to a different body part. So sometimes when I am putting together a yoga sequence for myself and I'm energetically checking in with my body, if I pull a major arcana card and it links to a certain astrological sign or planet, I know that maybe that body part could use a little extra attention. Not only that, but the suits all have different elements that connect to them. And so I actually layered chakras, which are like our energy centers, with our body parts that connect to each of those suits. So if you're familiar with the traditional Rider Waite Smith deck, then one of the suits is cups. Now, cups is a water element. The water element is connected to our sacral chakra, our like creative center, our abdomen, our intimacy, our like lower abdomen, hip area. And so I chose to do the suit of hips because that's connected to our sacral chakra. So the 6 of hips is, there's an emotional element to it. It reminds us to connect to our inner child. And so if I were to do a yoga sequence for someone, I'm a yoga therapist, then I might pull this card and think, oh, like you maybe need to connect with your inner child. So we might do some like gentle forward folds, some gentle pulling in, maybe even laying down and like hugging the knees in, right? Because they might need like a hug element, some compression for that lower abdomen to process information, to process memories, and also to digest. The Pentacles suit has an earth element to it. It's connected to our root chakra. It connects us to our physical body, our foundation, our family, our sense of security and money, all are connected to that pentacle suit. So I chose to use feet as a element or as a quality, a body part to connect to that root chakra. So if I were to see that maybe someone is feeling a little disconnected from their physical body or feeling a little unsupported, and if I'm pulling a lot of feet for them, then I might do a really grounding practice. Again, we might lay on the floor, we might, really connect with the ground, have some sort of deep breath where we check in with the sensations of our body. So the 7 of feet, within each suit, there are 14 cards. 7 is halfway through. So whenever I see a 7, I know that it's time for someone to pause, take stock, kind of look at the situation. So with the element of fire or the suit of wands, I chose hands because in the traditional Rider Waite Smith, the wands element has a lot of action and doing behind it. And what body part do we use more to do things with than our hands, right? So there's kind of this like fire element. Now, the heart chakra is usually an extension of the arms and hands, and that's actually an air element. But the solar plexus, the abdomen, is connected to a fire element and our power center. And so we'll talk a little bit about the air quality in just a second. But this idea of like the doing, and also like we can rest our hands on the abdomen. So if I'm seeing a lot of hands for people that I'm working with and I want to tell them how to use yoga to connect to their bodies through the lens of tarot, then we might do a little bit more of a vigorous practice, right? They might need to kind of move things through their body. They might need to like burn off some energy so that they can be still and connect back with themselves. And then the 4th suit is swords in the Rider Waite Smith that has an air element to it. So it's, yes, our heart, like I just said, but also our throat and our third eye and our crown. So it's kind of this whole like upper mind area. And so I chose the eyes because this is how we perceive. It's also how we communicate. And so the 9 of eyes is, because 9s are like close to the end of a cycle. It goes like ace through 10, and then the page, knight, king, queen, those are the other 4 cards in each suit. And so the 9 of eyes, like we've been working on something. We're like working, a lot of the eyes suit or the sword suit is really about looking at your perception of something. So when we get to 9, we're close to the end. It's like, maybe we've been thinking a little bit too much, right? Maybe there's a little bit of anxiety that's happening. And so if someone were to pull a lot of eyes or a lot of swords, and I'm putting together a practice for them, like they definitely need to be grounded, right? We want to pull in some more grounding energy for them, and maybe even use some vibration like with chanting or with humming to kind of like bring their self back into their body through that frequency. So I'm not going to go through all of the major arcanas with the astrological elements. Unless you would like to see that, let me know in the comments below if you want to know how each major arcana connects to an astrological sign or planet and your physical body. But this is such an incredible tool for you to connect with yourself and to come back home to your body, to be with your body.